Bigger than us. Don't be afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
Wicked in cinemas November 22. Book tickets.
For DRS, of course. We're just waiting on enough readying up to get going. And then we will be underway with qualifying around the Red Bull Ring. We are live, of course, on Twitch and Kick. It's Blobby Butler, Blobby_Butler on Twitch, no underscore on Kick, and on Dynamic Racing Series as well. So do get your comments in the chat. Let me know you're watching. And let's see who is going to take it today. Colin winning last week, of course. The wet weather specialist, I'm told. Colin taking the win last week in his Ferrari. And what a show from Al Newt and Rouge Nico, who are right up 5th and 6th and raced to the line with Al Newt just clinging on with his penalty to that Pro-Am victory. 17 of them live today. We'll check who's missing in a minute. Just got a alert come through. That was just telling me that DRS is live. One of the Ferraris is out first, and it's Easy Life who's out onto the track first. Let's see, have a look who's missing here. We're missing a Mercedes. Who's Nico? Not here. We are also missing not an Aston Martin. We've got both of those. Got both the Hasses, Williams, Ferrari, Alpine. Who's missing? Help. V-carb. We haven't got any V-carbs. Both the V-carbs are missing. Good evening to Bazza in the chat. First one in today. I'll just check the lineup to tell you who is missing. As they've changed quite a bit, so it is Sloth and Vampire who are missing. As Easy Life starts the first hot lap of the session, Marvsky is also now on his way. A few others on out laps as well. So we will stay with the Ferrari of Easy Life. he starts us off here. Still some spaces for the 100%er in China later on. Do give me a shout if you fancy a go. Reserve places are available. Now the last corner comes Easy Life, and it's a 106.4 to start us off. Let's go and see Marvski as he comes around the last corner. 104.9 for Marvski. Beaten now by Smug with a better 104.9. Smug on early pole position. Here's Syme, the sole Mercedes today. And that's a 108.3 for him, so he'll want to improve on that. Max goes across 105.1 into P3. Over goes an Alpine, that's Levi, 106.0. The other Alpine is coming, that's Mr. Pickle. He's just starting his lap, as is Pops Kong. Easy Life on his in lap. Joker making his way around the last corner. 106.8 for Joker. And Senna goes quickest. 104.7 for Senna. $50 Gent now to the line. 106.1 for P6. The Hasses as well. That's Swanton starting his lap. Sainsy coming around now. And Sainsy does a 106.1 as well. Syme now 105.1, just behind Max. Levi, Sainsy, 50 Gent, all very close together. Pickle will want to improve on that one, and Syme has hit 50 Gent and picked up a 5-place penalty. Small circuit this one, and it's always difficult to stay out of people's way when it gets so full. And Syme will suffer 5 places there, which at the moment will drop him to 10th. We're with Mr. Pickle as he tears time off of his previous attempt. Al Newt's done a 107. He's going to need to improve on that. This could be a good one for Pickle if he's not used too much curb on the outside there. He hasn't. And he comes to the line, P4, 105.0. Levi improves to a 105.7, stays P8. Swanton's out there now. And the last 2 to set times will be Bakey and King Kong. They're both now out there. Swanton round the last corner, comes to the line, 105.0 for Swanton, just ahead of Mr. Pickle. Very, very tight there from Swanton down to Al Newt, just a couple of tenths between 4th and 9th. Less than half a second from 2nd to 9th. Smug ahead of Marvski by the faintest of margins, then Swanton and Pickle. Colin ahead of Max and Syme. Syme will drop down, of course. Here's Bakey. And Bakey comes to the line. 105.3. P10. Decent stuff from him. Joker looking to improve. Going on another one. He's currently last. Here's his teammate King Kong. Last one to set a time. Colin goes quickest. 104.6 for the Ferrari. Trying to follow up last week's victory with a pole position. Max goes to third with a 104.7. Kong then towards the line. 106.7, and the Williams really not performing today. Currently 16 and 17. Marvsky, no improvement at the moment. Syme away on another go. Bakey on his way back into the pit lane. Kong improving. Let's see. He's going for it here. Round the last corner he comes. And improves to a 105.2. And that is P9 ahead of Al Newt. Only just. Senna's back out there. So is Smug. Smug improving through sector 1. Senna into the final corner. And goes quickest. 104.6 for Senna. Joker now 104.8. Goes to P4. We'll go back to Smug, who is picking up some time as well. Not a lot, but some. And now the top 6 all in the 104s. Smug to the line. No improvement. Didn't get the last sector right on that occasion. We've got Syme coming around the last corner and into the pit lane. King Kong will do the same. Saintsy around the last corner, not improving. He's going for another go. Joker on his way in. Marvsky on an outlap. So here's Swanton improving. Swanton rounds the last corner and comes to the line and goes third. 104.7 ahead of Max. Smug on his way back in. Easy Life making his way around for another attempt. McLaren out there, that's Max on his outlap. Saintsy having another go and improving. So we'll go with Saintsy here. Saintsy towards the line. 105.6 puts him 13th ahead of Levi. Hello to Magnatex in the chat. Good evening, sir. Here's Easy Life. He's not making any time up. And Marvsky now goes quickest. 104.4. Sainsy now on his in lap. Bakey on an out lap. Not much happening right now. Max is going slowly. In fact, maybe went off. He's going for another go now, though. Marvsky on his way back in. Bakey starts his next hot lap. As Smug's also out there. Is he? Just exiting the pits. As is one of the Alpines, Levi. Bakey's invalidated. Max has now dropped to 5th and is not improving on this one. It's Marvsky from Senna, Colin, Swanton. Then Max, followed by Joker, Smug, Mr. Pickle, Simon, King Kong, but Simon has 5 places to serve on top. So really needs a big lap here. Championship standings will be given during the break before the race begins. And then I will take you through tyre choices on the formation lap. Smug currently P7. He is out there as well. We're going to stay with Syme for now. Going to see a flurry of activity out of the pits very shortly. And Syme is now back right off. Smug is improving slightly through the first sector. And now slightly down through the second sector. 2.5 minutes to go as the front runners start making their way back out onto the track on the out laps. Smug improves slightly. It goes P6 ahead of Joker. Syme up a 10th again. Can he make this improvement? Lots of others out on track now. Once we get to the checkered flag, I will try and get each as they cross the line. Syme still slight improvements. He's currently in P9. Really is anybody's pole at the moment. Syme to the line, goes to P8, 104.9, ahead of Mr. Pickle. There's Max beginning his latest attempt. Bakey coming towards the line. Bakey's going towards the pit lane. Kong, he's improving. And Kong goes 5th for the 104.7. Senna slightly off his time. Slight improvement. Stays P2. Marvsky to the line, improves, 104.4. Colin, he's well down, so this is just going to be him starting another attempt. Syme is on his way back to the pits. Joker has invalidated. Kong slowed right down there to let some others pass. We're getting very close to flag time here. Syme's out. Here comes Smug towards the line and does not improve. Senna next, I think. It wasn't Senna, it was 50, but Senna now does not improve. Newty, no improvement from him. Sainzy's next and doesn't improve. Then Levi, he doesn't improve. Pickle's still out there. Marvsky into the pit lane. Colin goes P2. Colin up to P2. Kong is finished. Max has dropped a lot of time in Sector 2, so he's not going to improve. Pickle doesn't improve, and that's going to be it. Max returns to the pits, but it's Marvsky who will take pole position from last week's winner, Colin. Max and Senna will share row 2 with Swanton and King Kong next. That's a good Pro-Am pole for King Kong. Well clear of his nearest rival. Row 4 will be comprised of Smug and Joker. Then Mr. Pickle and Al Newt will round off the top 10 with Syme dropping from 9th to 14th. We will have a reasonable amount of time pause here. So the top 12 within a second of Marvsky's pole time. I will just scroll down to the bottom so you can see the whole lineup. Easy Life bringing up the rear behind Pops Kong. Ahead of Swanton and Marvsky, and it does this to the championship. Marvsky now leading it in the Drivers' Championship ahead of Max and Syme, with Swanton heading the chasing pack ahead of Mr. Pickle. Similar story in the Pro Drivers' Championship. Syme's ahead of Max there. And the Pro-Am sees King Kong top of the pile. On pole today of the Pro-Ams as well. 50 Gent is up there in second. Just 6 points behind with Al Newt next. Chasing pack headed by Saintsy. Vampire and Bakey are probably too far adrift, as is Rouge Nico, despite that P2 last week. Levi brings up the rear, as he only made his return last week. Kicks Alba top the pile in the Constructors' Championship with Red Bull in second, Williams and Mercedes in the chasing pack. Then it's Aston Martin and Haas. V-Carb going to suffer today with no drivers in. Alpine, McLaren and Ferrari bring up the rear. But Colin, if he can carry on his fine form from last week, will be doing something about that. There we have it, folks. That's how the championship looks. Here we go on the formation lap then. And a nice mix of tyre choices as always. With Marvsky on pole on medium tyres. Colin next to him on hard tyres. And Max goes for mediums. Senna, the only one, on the softs. Maybe gambling on an early safety car. Swanton on the hard tyre from King Kong on mediums. Smug also on mediums. Joker on hards. Mr. Pickle was on mediums. Our Newt on hards. Bakey on mediums. Sainsy on hards. Levi on mediums. Syme and 50 Gent both on hards. Pops Kong and Easy Life on mediums. Let's have a look at the teams. Different tyre choices at Kick Sauber and Ferrari. McLarens go the same, but they are 3 and 16 respectively, so no double stack issues probably there. Red Bull go very opposite. Softs Senna, hards 450. Haas go different. Williams go different. Aston Martin go different. Alpine go the same. Mr. Pickle and Levi 9th and 13th. They might have to watch out for a bit of strategy interference between those two. It's going to give me an awful view of the start, so I'm going to go on board with Colin in P2. Easy Life disqualified for his parking. DRS disabled for the start. There are the 5 lights. Out they go, and away we go. And Marvsky just got away a bit better than Colin there. And in fact, Colin's had a really bad start, and the 2 on the second row have swallowed him up. King Kong also having a bad start into turn 1, has lost a couple of places. Marvsky leads from Senna, then Max. Colin's dropped to 4th, then Swanton. And a big dive up the inside from Swanton on Colin. And wide went Smug, who lost places and has dropped now to 9th. Looked like a late dive from Swanton there on Colin. And now Smug is trying to get back past Al Newt. Everybody's made it through without having a crash at least. And Marvsky leads them. Senna. Pops Kong got disconnected at the start, and that's why he's been left at the back. He's rejoined now. I didn't spot that, sorry. Marvsky from Senna and Max. Swanton in P4. Levi now in the pits. Must have got some damage. Early pit stop for Levi. DRS enabled. And Syme's making his way through the field. He is up to 13th now, ahead of 50 Gent. And Smug repassed Al Newt, who's now got Joker for company. And Joker gets passed up the hill, and he's looking at Smug as well. And just got forced wide. Into the lead goes Senna. Senna takes the lead. Marvsky's trying to keep up, but those soft tyres are strong in the beginning, and Senna now leads. Marvsky relegated to 2nd, Max is 3rd, then Swanton and Colin. Mr. Pickle, he's had a really good start, he's up to 6th. Then King Kong from Smug. Al Newt, Joker, Bakey, Saintsy. Senna fastest lap of the race, beaten by Colin. Saintsy going to have a look here on Bakey. Ahead, Joker and Al Newt now.
Good evening.
Good evening to Stacey in the chat. Marvsky retakes the lead, or does he? Side by side into the corner at the top of the hill. Swanton has got Max for P3. Senna retains the lead. And And now look at Max go back for Swanton. Bit of a lock-up. Do they leave each other room? Not really. Bit of a rub of wheels, and Max is back past. Marvsky, centre defends. Colin's been brought into this battle, as has Mr. Pickle now. And Mr. Pickle almost into the back of Colin. All very close together now. Sure, there's going to be moves down the straight in this DRS train. Senna's going to do well to stay in front. King Kong, the fastest lap of the race, as he now tries to cling to the back of this battle for the lead, and he's in 7th. 7 in a line there, as Marvsky goes up the inside. And back into the lead, and Mr. Pickles outbraked himself. And took one of the braking boards with him. But they've all managed to stay together. Swanton on the inside of Max this time. Very, very close. Max stays ahead. There's Swanton's view. Colin, Pickle and Kong in behind. These 7 now with a gap to Smug in 8th. All 17 still running as we begin lap 5. Just Levi, who's been in the pits early. Remarkably clean considering how close the racing is, as Max is now going to make a move on the inside of Senna. And they're still side by side out of the corner. Look at this. Drag race now to the next corner, which Max has the inside line for. Senna tries to be later on the brakes to keep it going, but Max takes the place. Great racing. And now Swanton having a look at Senna. Colin and Pickle and Kong still right there. Marvsky trying to break away as the others battle in behind him. And a bit of a wobble from Senna, and that's going to cost him at least 1 place. He stays on the inside to try and defend from Colin, who goes into the corner side by side with him. Bit of wheel rubbing. Pickle's there as well, trying to go around the outside of both of them. Colin covers him, but Senna has dropped to 6th. Senna trying to regain P5 from Mr. Pickle. Kong just couldn't cling to the back of them enough. Joker has passed Smug. And Smug's now going back for that place. And retakes P8. Our Newt's got a queue behind him now. Led by Syme, then Bakey, Saintsy and 50 Gent are all there. Got to stay with the leaders at the moment because it's so tight. Marvsky now from Max, Swanton, Colin, Pickle, Senna and Kong. And a yellow in sector 2, I think that's Pops Kong. Pops Kong has had a bit of a problem. Hasn't looked to do any damage. Smug passed by Joker once again. Syme getting past Al Newt and into the top 10 now. But Newty won't give this one up too easily. And a bit of front wing broke off someone there. Was that Swanton's front wing? It looked like a bit of a Haas. It is. Swanton's broken his front wing. Simon out still fighting. Just at the top of the hill yet there, saw a piece of car. Looked like it was a Haas livery, and indeed it was. Swanton with the broken wing. And he's on hard tyres, so it's disastrous for his strategy as well if he has to box. He might just have to try and go without it. He is carrying on. Senna is in the pits. So no early safety car for him, and the soft tyres have had enough. So in comes Senna for mediums. Two-stopper looking likely for him. Max is now taking the lead from Marvsky. Senna will rejoin just around about Pops Kong. They're going to be tight actually. Senna is behind Pops. So right back to 16th. Max will now be on the radio to Pops to hold him up a bit. Even though they are on different strategies. Max leads Marvsky. And it's Colin from Swanton. Joker and Smug. Joker's had an issue there and lost several places. Syme got past Smug. Not sure what happened. But Joker's fallen into the pack behind Al Newt. Senna making light work of Pops Kong up to P15. Not sure what happened to Joker there. He's up the inside of Saintsy. Bold move, and they're side by side down the straight. He's got the inside as Joker, but Saintsy's not going to give it up. And uses some curbing and gets in front. Good move in the end from Saintsy. Joker's going to have another go at him. 50 Gent now right there getting involved. Joker no visible damage, but did lose places on that last lap. Syme now up to P7 ahead of Smug. Good recovery drive from him so far. Kong has dropped right away now from the top 5, but does lead the Pro-Am and has got 2 other cars between him and his nearest rival, Al Newt, last week's Pro-Am winner and driver of the day. Pickle getting close to the back of Swanton, who of course has that broken wing, as we start lap 10. 36 laps around this track, and they fly by. They really fly by. Pickle's going to make the move. And the front 3 go, and Pickle now up to P4. Swanton had a little wobble out the corner as well. Smug round the inside of Syme. Senna's made another place, passing Easy Life. He's going to need to make his way through traffic without it holding him up on this alternative strategy. Syme drops back to 8th, Al Newt 9th, Bakey in 10th. Bakey currently in a podium position for the Pro-Ams. Pickle gets the first track limit penalty of the race. Colin is very close to the back of Marvsky, and now the hard tyres now coming into their prime period. Syme passes Smug. And will we see the hard runners start to make moves now? Colin getting very close at the top of the hill, and they're all locking up. Smug has retaken Syme, who's now got Saintsy. Saintsy and Bakey just behind, side by side. And look at Joker trying to pass both of them, and does. Joker passing both Saintsy and Bakey there. Saintsy still trying to fight it, but Joker has got the place. And back into the top 10 goes Joker. Big move from him. Swanton repasses Mr. Pickle. Syme closes on Smug once again. Newty right there as well. Pickle back past Swanson as the front three go in to the first corner. In the pits is Easy Life. Syme and Smug having a good battle. Keep swapping places. Easy Life on hard tyres. Is that a one-stopper? We shall see. He drops to last behind Levi. Swanson and Pickle won't leave each other alone. And Swanson stays ahead on this occasion, but runs a bit wide, and Pickle's still right there with him. Syme hoping to drop Smug. Al Newt right on the case. Joker chased by Saintsy, Bakey and 50 Gent. Then it's Senna in 14th. And we'll shortly be approaching a few of these guys, and we'll hope that they don't get in his way too much. The next one for him will be his teammate as it stands. No sign of pit stops from the front runners yet. Apart from Senna, of course, who was on softs. Max leads Marvsky and Colin. Swanson has dropped right back away now as he battles with Pickle. Syme making a move on Kong for P6. This is a terrific drive from Syme so far. The grid penalty, seeing him start way down. He's now up to 6th. An excellent first stint for the Mercedes sole runner today. Here is Joker's on board, with Al Newt directly in front of him. And then Smug. And Smug is into the pit lane. So Smug boxes. Joker is going to get Al Newt, but Colin is going for Marvsky. And they could be both going for Max. Colin takes P2 from Marvsky. Pickle and Swanson swap places once again. Good switch back for Swanson on that occasion. Colin's going to take the lead. Into the lead goes Colin, and it is the hard tyres that are coming into their own now, as you see. And now Joker, Saintsy and Al Newt all swapping places. Saintsy got the better of that one. Those three are all hard tyre runners. Smug has rejoined in 14th behind Senna, who's closing in on this battle between Saintsy, Joker and Al Newt, Bakey and 50 Gent. And Bakey has just dropped away. Kong is now in the pits, and so is Joker. And this is disastrous for Williams, and especially for Joker, as he's going to have to sit and wait for Kong's pit stop. That has gone very badly at Williams, and it's going to cost Joker a place or two. Smug's going to get both the Williams. Pops Kong is going to come out in between them. So Joker drops to 15th thanks to that pit stop. And it's probably a bit early to have gone from hards to mediums. Colin leads from Max and Marvsky. That's the front three. Big battle for 4th between Swanson and Pickle. Swanson once again taking that place, but picks up a penalty. So now those two both have 3-second penalties, which will be music to the ears of Syme, who is closing in on them. Saintsy now has a penalty. After Kong's pit stop, Saintsy is the Pro-Am leader, but he's got Al Newt right on his case. Smug's now picked up a penalty. They're starting to add up, and Marvsky's going for Max here. Al Newt and Saintsy battling for the Pro-Am lead. Saintsy defends. Pickle and Swanson wheel to wheel again. 50 Gent got a move on Bakey there. Side by side, those two. And 50's got a broken wing. But he's up to P9. And look now at Senna in behind these two. 50's got to find a way of letting Senna pass. But without letting Bakey go. Senna's got to use all his craftsmanship here. Mr. Pickles in the pits. Let's keep an eye on these as neither of them are boxing. Bakey will have the DRS. Joker has got a penalty. Pickle is going to rejoin behind Smug, it seems. Is King Kong going to get him as well? It's tight. Joker, fastest lap of the race. That one will get checked whether it was when he picked the penalty up and an illegal lap. Bakey side by side with 50. Senna trying to find a way past both of them. 50 lets Senna go. And in the end, that's cost 50 a little bit as well. Newty and Sainsey, the current battle for the Pro-Am lead. Senna finally gets Bakey. Mr. Pickle's got another penalty. It's a second one for him. Bakey's been disconnected. And he's had some real problems with this in the last few weeks. I will try and get him back in. But that's disappointing for him. He's dropped behind the Red Bulls now. In the pits is Pops Kong. Al Newt and Saintsy going at it again. King Kong made a move on Mr. Pickle. And Pickle makes it back on Kong. But went deep, went very deep, touched the gravel. And that is going to be King Kong back ahead. In the pits is Marvsky. Max continues on. Max and Colin are about to lap Pops Kong. Bakey's rejoined. Hasn't yet lost any more places, but Smug's closing in on him. Bakey is in the pits. So if he can get back in his car, he might not have lost too much there. Marvsky rejoins behind Senna in P8. Al Newt now ahead of Saintsy for the Pro-Am lead. Swanson and Syme side by side. Syme going for P3, which is remarkable when you consider where he started the race. Terrific drive from him so far. Colin has now gapped Max by a second. Newty and Sainsy side by side again. And now Newt using every bit of the curb to stay in front there. On board with Marvsky there, just behind Senna. Levi off into the gravel. And Bakey now back with us. Has made his pit stop and is 14th. Oh, he's been disconnected again. Bakey having real problems. Collins not managed to keep that gap. Sainsy and Al Newt again with Marvsky and Senna now right behind them. Newty's got to worry about not taking his teammate out here. Marvsky is going to go for the inside on all of them. He's past now Al Newt. Senna kept behind as well. And now he's looking for the inside on Saintsy. And into the pits comes Swanton. And a bit of contact there, and Saintsy was trying to pit. So Swanton and Saintsy into the pits. Max remarkably has done 20 laps on these mediums. Senna's back up to 5th. Swanton and Saintsy. Swanton rejoining in 12th, with Saintsy 13th. Clear of Easy Life, who's got Bakey and Levi for company. Colin remains your leader. He is in the pits. Colin into the pit lane as the rain begins to fall. And as Max staying out in an absolute masterstroke to go straight to inters. It is raining. Colin's changed for mediums. Bakey's disconnected again. And I can't keep sending invites. This will be the last one. As I've got to do my own job as well. Colin exits the pits. He is on mediums. And he is ahead of Marvsky. But the rain is coming down. Syme is up to 2nd. And could this be straight to inters for the likes of Max, Syme, Al Newt, who have not yet stopped? Big queue forming now behind Smug. 50 Gent, Mr. Pickle, King Kong. But there's definitely rain coming down, and you're starting to see it with slippy 50 Gent on very old tyres. Mr. Pickle underestimating his speed a little there, and now going up his inside. Pickle's tyre, 50's tyres have just about had it, and Pickle goes past, and it'll be followed by King Kong shortly. There goes Kong. 50's going to have to box. He's also got that broken wing, remember. Al Newt's in the pits. Now, is he going to gamble for inters? Let's see. Interesting here. The rain is becoming heavier. What tyres are going on? It is dries. So nobody has gone for inters yet. Colin is closing back up to Syme and passing him. Bakey has rejoined. He's right down in 16th now. The disconnect's really ruining his race once again. And Kong has the Pro-Am lead back. DRS has been disabled, and surely this means intermediate tyres. Max has continued on. Marvsky now passes Syme, who pits. So Syme into the pits, and surely this is going to be for inters. In which case, it's going to end up net P2 because Senna and Smug are in. The time is now for inters, apparently. And Syme's done it without having to stop already. So Syme's going to rejoin behind Swanton in P9. Senna and Smug are also back out there. Saintsy's in. And it's been an absolute masterstroke from Max, Syme and 50. Especially Max, with Syme gets Swanton for P8. Everybody else is in the pits. Bakey is out. Easy Life and Levi are in. Bakey has been forced to retire. Again, the game playing him up. Into the pits comes Max and Colin. Max and Colin are in. Marvsky's in. Pops Cog is in the pits. Behind Max, I think. Yep, so it didn't cause him any problems. A lap down. How far is Syme going to get up the leaderboard? I think he's going to be second or third. It's P3 for Syme, but right behind Colin. Look at that. Joker's continued on. I don't know what he's thinking. No, I don't think anybody else is. Our Newt pit just a lap ago and has now got to box again, so that's ruined his chances. There's a lot of cars coming up to turn 4 up the hill here. Newty in again. Joker now the only one left on dry tyres, and you can see he's really struggling. Max has played an absolute blinder. He's got a 5-second gap to Colin, who's had terrific pace. Bearing in mind he has made 2 stops. Syme is third. Senna's strategy worked a dream, and he is now 4th. Marvsky is 5th. Smug's in 6th. Joker is 7th, but will drop down as he pits, surely. Yes, into the pits he comes. He's got a penalty there for cutting the grass. That was a bit harsh. And there you go. He will drop down. Pickle is 7th. King Kong will take 8th. And he is the Pro-Am leader again. Didn't work well for Swanton. He's 9th. Saintsy 10th. P2 in the Pro-Am. And 50 Gent back into P3 in the Pro-Am. He's going to come out quite close here, Joker. But 50 will be behind. So the rain throwing a spanner in the works of this race. Just 10 laps to go now. Sloth says he's enjoying the race and gutted not to be amongst it. Colin has actually closed the gap by half a second to Max on this last couple of laps, so this might not be all cut and dried. We're told Colin is the weather master, and it could well be the case. He's got a 3-second gap to Syme. And Senna, who's got Marvsky chasing him. Well, take a quick look at the penalties, because Smug and Mr. Pickle both have penalties. 6 seconds for Pickle. That's going to cost him to King Kong at the moment. 6 for Joker as well, whose race really was ruined by staying out too long on the dry tyres. He's currently 11th, but with the 6-second penalty could drop behind 50 Gent. 3-second pens for Smug, Swanton, Saintsy and Al Newt. Another one, Al Newt, who was ruined by the rain. The pit stop coming at the wrong time for him, but Colin has got some real pace here. The gap down to just 4 seconds and plenty of laps left. Colin at this rate could be right on the tail of Max by the end of this race. A battle for the win. Don't rule it out, folks. All of them still going, apart from Bakey, who had to retire through connection issues once again. No point persevering with it once it starts throwing you out every 5 minutes. Disappointing, as he was perhaps in contention for a Pro-Am podium. Very unfortunate end for him. Marvsky now right on the case of Senna. Not much doubt from me who my driver of the day is. Syme from 14th, currently in 3rd. Though these two are closing on him a little. So it's not all cut and dried yet. A bit of wobble from both there. As they push to try and outwit one another in the battle for 4th. Colin didn't get the gap down as much on that lap. Still around 3.5 seconds. But did Max just have a wobble in front there? No, didn't appear so. On board with Colin Weather Maestro. Senna and Marvsky are closing on Syme. So podium could be on for either of those two still. Pickle working to try and get 6 seconds ahead of Kong, who will be happy with the Pro-Am victory as it stands. Joker now away from 50 Gent by enough, and Marvsky almost threw it into the back of Senna on that occasion. The gap now 3.3 seconds for the lead for Colin. Senna and Marvsky a couple of seconds now behind Syme. But overtakes becoming increasingly difficult with no DRS, of course. You see many a dive up the hill with DRS enabled, but it's much more difficult in these conditions. Just got to look for a mistake in front. And we are running out of laps. Lap 30 of 36 in this one. Done remarkably well to not have any crash DNFs or safety cars at this point. Don't tempt fate, because at this stage a sprint finale would certainly make it interesting. Syme picks up a penalty, and that is going to cost him a podium. He's now got Senna and Marvsky within a second of him. Colin not making the impression he needs to on Max. Needs to find an extra couple of seconds of pace from somewhere. That penalty will cost Syme, but who's going to get the podium place? Will it be Senna? Will it be Marvsky? Colin closing the gap not quickly enough, I feel. Unlike how these two homed in on Syme. He'll be really disappointed with that penalty. Three abound here now. Colin not making enough of an impression on Max. So this looks to be the biggest battle at the moment, and Senna's got a bit of a slipstream on Syme and looks to the inside. Smug's in the pits. Is he going for dries? He is! Smug's going for dries! Could there be a twist in the tail? Marvsky now trying to pass Syme, but Smug, King Kong and now Saintsy have all pitted for dries. The rain has stopped. Senna now into third. Al Newton, Pops Kong are also in the pits. This is very interesting. Colin has now dropped back to 4 seconds behind Max as he laps Levi. And He's not gambling. Joker ahead of Smug, who dropped to 9th with his pit stop, and maybe the track's not quite ready as 50 Gent passes King Kong. Easy Life and Levi now in. Simon Marvsky are in, and somebody's come off. 50 Gent and Joker and King Kong, sorry. 50 Gent and King Kong have come off. Syme and Marvsky have pit. Senna's stayed out. Surely it's going to be too late for them to catch back up. Swanton goes up to P5, Pickle to P4. Marvsky and Syme come back out, and Marvsky's right behind Syme, and Marvsky dives up his inside. And they're wheel to wheel again, and Syme stays ahead. The gap for Max increasing now. Yellow's in sector 3 as somebody's in the pits. It's King Kong. And King Kong, he's stopped in the pit lane. He's reversing in the pit lane. What's he doing? What was he doing there? Was he trying to cause a safety car? I'm not sure what happened there, but King Kong now back out, but has lost that Pro-Am win. Yellow in sector 1 is for Pops Kong, I think. It is. We've just got 3 laps to go, and everything's been thrown wide open here. Marvsky continues to try and get Syme. And off now is King Kong again, I think. King Kong's out. King Kong is out of the race. It's too late for a safety car. And that blows the championship in the Pro-Ams wide, wide open. And it's absolutely great news for 50 Gent, who currently is the Pro-Am leader, but is still on intermediate tyres. Saints is 20 seconds behind him. And Al Newt is now 3rd in the Pro-Am, with Easy Life up to 4th. 2 laps to go. Max is out on the grass there. Max leads from Collins. Senna is 3rd. Mr. Pickle from Swanton, Joker, then Simon Marvsky, who are now 7th and 8th after the gamble. Smug is 9th, 50 Gent is catching him. So maybe it was too early for dries. Smug's got another penalty, and 50 is going to get him on penalty. Max managing the gap now around that 4-second mark, as he starts the final lap of the race. The battle's on track. Marvsky behind Syme, but Syme has a penalty. 50 behind Smug, but Smug has penalties. 50 Gent is going to win the Pro-Am. Al Newt picks up another penalty. Has he got enough to cost him? No, he hasn't. Nobody more than 6 seconds, actually. So, well done, everyone. Colin has closed again to within 3.5 seconds, but it's not going to be enough, as Pops Kong is lapped by a couple further back, just caused a yellow flag. Marvsky passes Syme on the final lap. Collins picked up a penalty. That's not going to cost him anything in the end. Max comes up towards the line. DRS is enabled. Bit too late for those who boxed. And Max World wins in Austria. Colin comes home in 2nd, and it's a podium for Senna. Senna comes home in P3. Mr. Pickle will take P4. Here comes Mr. Pickle in P4. Swanton in P5. Saintsy and Al Newt have finished a lap down in second and third in the Pro-Am respectively. Swanton P5, Joker P6. Marvsky and Syme, what a battle they had. And Marvsky's going to let Syme by for some reason, but Marvsky gets the place. Syme P8, Smug will come home next, but 50 Gent will take that place on penalty, and 50 Gent wins in the Pro-Am. P9 for 50, P10 for Smug. The gamble to dry is not paying off in the end. Joker takes the Driver of the Day award from the game. Maxwell, your winner. Colin in second place. Max managing a one-stopper. 50 Gent as well. The one-stoppers win the day. Max from Colin. Senna was third. His alternative strategy did well for him. Mr. Pickle in P4. Good showing from him. Swanton in 5. Joker 6th. And fastest lap for Joker. Marvsky from pole ended up 7th. Syme from 14th ended up 8th. 50 Gents, one stop, one in the Pro-Am race in P9. Smug was P10. Saintsy takes a podium with Al Newt. Second and third in the Pro-Ams. Easy Life, Levi and Pops Kong all finishing. King Kong and Bakey not making the end. I will be back at 10 PM where we are going reverse championship grid 100% race in China. Do let me know if you want to join in because there are still some spaces. Until then, I'll be back.